Good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to see you all today on this slightly rainy day, but we're really glad to have you here. Welcome to the second annual JaGa Futures Forum. We are delighted to have you join us as we explore the past, present, and future of the vital partnership between Japan and the United States. We are honored to bring together a diverse group of presenters, including esteemed educators, members of the business community, and the Council General of Japan. I am Robin Jeremy, Dean of the Coles College of Business, and it's my pleasure and honor every day to serve our business students, but more importantly, the KSU community as a whole. We are dedicated to preparing students for successful careers in various business fields by emphasizing the practical learning, innovation, and most importantly, global perspectives. We foster strong connections with the business community and provide students with valuable opportunities and experiences and making them career-ready upon graduation. We are dedicated to developing future business leaders in a global world. Today we'll delve into the bonds that link Georgia and Japan, discovering the rich history and promising future of our bilateral relationship. Your presence here signifies the importance of this partnership and the shared commitment to fostering mutual understanding and cooperation. Thank you so much for being here, and we look forward to an engaging and insightful forum.
Thank you, Dean Jeremy. We appreciate your support of today's program. Now for remarks from the Radau College of Humanities and Social Sciences, Associate Dean of Faculty and Inclusive Excellence, Dr. Greg Paul.
I'm delighted to be with you and to welcome you on behalf of the Radau College to open today's event along with the Honorable Consul General of Japan, Mr. Miyomeda, and Dean Robin Jeremy of the Coles College of Business. I am looking forward to seeing today's discussions and networking opportunities among industry leaders, academic partners, and aspiring professionals bring forward a vision for a more integrated and collaborative future. So I want to spotlight 3 ways in which the Radau College is working right alongside you in supporting those discussions and opportunities towards that vision of greater intercultural and international connections and understanding. One way is through curriculum offerings. The Radau College houses 2 programs that are directly related to the Japan-Georgia Futures Forum: the Bachelor's of Arts in Asian Studies and the minor in Japanese language. The Asian Studies program helps students to gain language proficiency in Chinese, Japanese, or Korean, and to develop a richer understanding of the various cultural, historical, and social perspectives across Asia. And the Japanese language program is one of the largest and strongest language programs in the college, consistently enrolling over 200 students each semester. We're also partnering with the Coles College of Business to help students earn both a BA in Asian Studies as well as an MBA at the same time. More broadly, these programs are among several courses and programs within the Radau College that help our students be more competent and confident cross-cultural travelers, because we're committed to helping students become successful internationally and interculturally. We're also committed to and grateful for the strong relationships and partnerships with the Japanese community in the metro Atlanta area. Through our course called Japan-Georgia Connection, students become familiar with Japanese companies and organizations in our state and gain essential cultural knowledge before they enter the workforce. Another important partnership in our collaboration with the Japanese consulate is through information sessions on the Japan Exchange and Teaching Program. We celebrate not only the multiple candidates from the university who have been selected for this competitive opportunity, but also the growing number of alumni who are teaching English in Japan. In a similar vein, our mentorship program with the Japan-America Society of Georgia has created meaningful professional connections for students, giving them a direct access to corporate mentorship and leadership. These partnerships are living and important manifestations of a vision of greater cultural, intercultural, and international connections and understanding. Finally, I want to highlight the Symposium on Asia-USA Partnership Opportunities, or SALPO, which our Asian Studies program has organized since 2011, and which Radau College and the School of Communication and Media have supported. SALPO has grown to become the largest Asia business conference in the United States and will convene in Tokyo in May of this year. Events like SALPO exemplify the college's and our university's active role in expanding professional networks, fostering dialogue, and building understanding internationally and interculturally. So I'm grateful to you, panelists, sponsors, students, for your enthusiasm and commitment to building stronger Japan-Georgia ties. And I'm grateful to the Japan-America Society, especially Mr. Yoshi Demoto, Ms. Nozomi Morgan, and Mr. James Hoadley, for choosing to partner with KSU to host this event. I'm looking forward to seeing new collaborations and ongoing partnerships as we work towards an integrated future and mutual understanding. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy your time today.
Thank you, Dr. Paul. We appreciate your partnership with today's program as well. Now it is my honor to have the Consul General of Japan in Atlanta with us today. Let's give a KSU welcome to the Honorable Mio Maeda.
What is KSA welcome? Is there any difference? Anyway, thank you so much for inviting me to this important event. And first of all, I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to the people from the Kansas State University for hosting this very important and timely event. And, well, I guess that it is often said that the U.S.-Japan relations has been enjoying a very, how to say, one of the most, or the most fruitful and friendly relationships since the World War II. And we think it is true because when we look at a lot of challenges facing the international community, such as what is happening in Russia, with Ukraine, and the Middle East, as well as the economic coercion by some countries in the Southeast Asia or African countries, it is more and more important to enhance the bilateral relations and the partnership, or I should say the alliance between Japan and the United States. And so I think that it's very, very much opportune to discuss how we can collaborate between ourselves to enhance and expand the most important alliance between the two countries. So that is why I really appreciate the organizer of this event. In this event, we're going to have the discussion about how we can promote, enhance, and expand or deepen the relations between the two countries, in particular Japan, and between Japan and Georgia, the state of Georgia, for the future, for the shared future. So I really appreciate the organizer for holding this event, and also it is, and the relations between Japan and the United States is not only limited to the security or political alliance, but also the economic relations much more important. And from that sense, I really think that it is very much crucial to enhance the relations or the connections between industry and the university, and the industry and the student. So that is why this forum is of great significance for not only the participant, or the student, you guys, but also the state or the nation of the two countries. So I do hope that during this day you will listen a very good and important and fruitful discussions. And if you're a student of the Kansas University or other universities, I do hope that you will have a chance to talk with the Japanese companies sitting next in this room, and they will explain to you how important, how how meaningful you can have if you get involved in the Japanese company. So with that, once again, thank you so much for inviting me, and I do wish you will have a good day today. Thank you so much.
That's the KSU welcome.
Yes, Dr. Kasif, that is our KSU welcome. Thank you so much. Consul General Maeda, thank you to your office for its continued support of the Japan-America Society. We look forward to our continued collaboration with many more programs and projects throughout the year. Now, it is time to start the first session of our event. And may I introduce you to the moderator of our Education Abroad in Japan panel discussion, the Executive Director of Global Education here at KSU, Ms. Tara McDuffie.
Good morning. Okay, I know it's raining outside, but let's have some energy. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here with us today, especially with all of the pouring rain that we have. So I'm pleased that you are here. I'm sure some others will trickle in shortly. Once again, my name is Tara McDuffie, and I'm the Executive Director for Global Education here at KSU. Today we will have a wonderful panel on education abroad in Japan, where we will be talking about what to expect when studying abroad in Japan and how to prepare for that experience. Before our panelists introduce themselves, I would like to do a pulse check with the audience, see how many students we have. If you're a student, please raise your hand. Wonderful. Students, how many of you have actually studied abroad before? Wonderful. How many of you have been to Japan? Okay. How many of you are thinking about going to Japan? I think the whole room can just raise their hands for that one. Thank you very much. That's wonderful. I hope that you walk away from this discussion more informed, empowered, and ready for those of you who have never studied abroad or traveled to Japan to start your abroad journey in Japan. As we go along, I will ask the panelists a few questions, and at the end of the session, you will have the opportunity to engage as well and ask questions of your own. So as you think of questions, please write them down. We'll get to you at the end. We'll get started, and I'll start on this end. I would like all of the panelists to introduce themselves and talk about their experience as it relates to education abroad in Japan.
Hi, my name's Doug Moody. I'm a professor of management in Coles Business School, college, and I am here because I'm leading 45 students to Japan this May. So.
Okay, my name is Kazuhiro Chikayama. I am Associate Professor at Obi University. It's located in Shinjuku, center of the Tokyo, and I'm in charge of like inbound and outbound program in Obi University. And I'm very happy to hear. Now I'm just arrived 2 days ago, and I'm still suffering jet lag. And yeah, but I'm very excited. And I brought big 10 students here, and. I'm very happy to share the information about Japan. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Anna Barnes. I'm actually an alumni. I graduated here in 2017. I was the first Asian Studies major. So I was very happy working with Ms. Miguel and my professor, Ms. Negrelli. She's awesome. They're both awesome. And now I work at a Japanese company, and I kind of like a buyer for maintenance at an automotive parts company. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, so we'll get started with our questions for the panelists. Sensei Chikayama, we'll get started with you. Based on your experience, how do Japanese universities support international students in integrating into local culture and academic environment?
Okay, first I will talk about the general Japanese universities, but actually I'm working at only one university, so therefore I don't know exactly detail each university. But most Japanese universities have a variety of support systems for international students to adjust local culture and academic environment. Like, for example, most Japanese university provides the language courses and wide ranges from beginners to advanced, and of course, not only the language courses, but also like outside activities such as field trip, visiting the famous spots in Tokyo, or and of course, most university has like orientations, and we are going to have orientation before the courses starts, and introduce how to adjust life in Japan, and give the advice how to succeed academically to improve their international students, both adjust to local culture and academic environment.
Thank you. I do have a follow-up question because you mentioned your university, Oberlin University. Can you talk a little bit about your university, your population, where you're actually located, just so the audience is aware?
Okay, so actually I'm working at the Oberlin University, and the main campus is Machida campus. It's a little bit far from the Tokyo area, and the center of Tokyo. But I'm working at the Shinjuku campus. It's about very close to the, center of the Tokyo, and it's actually kind of small campuses. Then about 1,000, I think 1,000 students studying here, and we have international students, of course, variety of countries such as Chinese students, Korean students, and mainly the Asian students is working, studying at the Oberlin University.
Thank you. I have another question. So let's talk a little bit about academic differences. I think the first thing that comes to mind, the academic calendar and when semesters actually start. But what are some key differences to you between the academic systems in Japan and other countries that international students should be aware of?
Okay, so I think the most American universities has uses four-term systems. But most Japanese university uses 2 semesters systems. So start from April and for spring semester, the end of and finish at the end of July, and the second semester, fall semester start from around October and finish and January. So therefore, because like this is like a history thing. So everything starts from April, like company, and then company expects to graduate the student who graduates in March. They take new workers welcome to the company. Therefore, most I think that most university, international students are surprised at only 2 semesters and starts in the spring or something. And also that the lecture style is different. Now I can see that now, if you're interested in the topic, people sitting in the front row. However, at the Japanese university, most lecture type, the students sit in the back and never interrupt during the lectures. All teachers sent us talking, and no question. And when we decided the grade, we checked the report or test things, not like group work things or presentation things.
Thank you. So for students studying abroad in general, it is often a misconception that that student needs to know the language of the host country in order to be successful. It would be helpful, but more often than not, that is not the case. It's not a requirement. How do Japanese universities address language barriers for international students, and what resources are available to them?
Okay, so this is also the similar answers to that first question, and of course to help international students to improve their languages. We have Japanese language classes, depending on the levels, and if they need more extra work, we will give them extra courses. Or sometimes Japanese students visit the classes to help students to help academically, like check the writing or speaking partner, and also. If they have a problem, not only the teacher, but also the other staff members support and give the advice. The resources, we have a lot of resources, of course, and for example, like we have library, and the students anytime can use this Japanese novel, DVD, and magazine, anything. And also we have a program, and we are going to bring international students to their other places, and for example, like a kimono lecture or a tea ceremony or something like that, then to help. Then if international students need help, and Open University, we have some volunteer staff we call the buddies, like international supporters. That is the students. They always with international students and help.
Thank you. Based on what you said, I think you have something to what we have here at KSU, what we call conversational partners. And I think that's a good resource for students to get together with other students to especially practice the language, learn survival, skills in order to make things a little bit easier. Okay, the next question that I have for you. In general, I would say that after a student has identified where they want to study abroad, the second question is often, how can I afford this? How can I pay for this? So what are some existing government, university, or corporate supports toward room and board for study abroad students while in Japan? And what are the associated processes and procedures to secure these supports?
Okay, of course we have some support systems, not only Japanese government and also private companies. And so first I'm talking about the Japanese government. Japanese government has a scholarship that is called Next Scholarship. That is for international students to study like more than 1 year, or sometimes master courses, doctor courses, and it gives full tuition and around airline ticket, and also living expenses, so very, very big money. But of course, to get this scholarship, international students need to apply and show them recommendation letters or great transcript, and have an interview and the Japanese test. If they passed, they can get. And also the JASO, this is also very popular for international students, not only the student, like a Japanese student, to get the scholarship. Again, if you want to apply for that, you should first apply that, then show their score grade, and if they pass, they can get. And our university, Open University, has we have OGFA, this is Open Gakuen Foundation of America, and this is a unique scholarship courses. Usually, I told you, like a student, if you want to study like over 1 year, gives up. But the short-term studies, it is very difficult to get the scholarship. But OGPAR, even 2 weeks program, and if it's an international student apply for that, the past, they can get even very, very short-term programs. How to apply, and the process of application is first you need to get the 2 recommendation letters and apply through their Google Forms. Then show the score of the school grade. Then have an interview. Then pass. Then offer pay for that, not total amount of the tuition, part of that, but that is a special scholarship for me. That is unique. Of course, and the companies, and so many companies has like a support systems, like me about food or housing or like a part-time job, so they can support international students a lot.
Thank you. So students, I hope that you are paying attention. If you're interested in going abroad, especially for a long-term exchange program, there are some opportunities for you to be able to fund your program, especially at Oberlin University. Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you.
All right, so we will move on to Professor Moody. So I know that you are passionate about students studying abroad, and you've been developing programs and taking students abroad for many, many years. Can you describe the structure of your education abroad programs to Japan and how they're designed to benefit students in general?
Okay, first of all, the name of our program is actually Japan Business and Psychology. And you may wonder why it's business psychology. It's just simple. I'm married to a psychology professor. But there is commonalities. Basically, I always, when I go abroad, work with a local university. I know a lot of other people do it independently. But I like to work with a local university. And I'm working with Kanda University, which is actually in Tokyo Bay. It's just outside the boundary of Tokyo, but it's on Tokyo Bay, so it's really great at Tokyo. And we have got classes. First of all, they will be having survival Japanese, whichever country I go to, which isn't English speaking. I always like a sort of survival class that everyone does. And then we will be doing culture classes to learn about the local business and general culture, political culture, economic culture, the rest of it. And then we'll be splitting in two. And my wife does a cross-cultural psychology course based, in Japan and other countries. And I will do a Doing Business in Japan course. In it, we will be doing academic trips to local companies and things like the Japanese stock market to interact with people.
We have a lot of students here at KSU who have not had international experiences. Firsthand, I experienced a student that was traveling to another country. She was really nervous, she was excited, and ended up in the bathroom for 7 hours out of 10 because her nerves got the best of her. She did not know how to handle being so excited. So it is something that happens, but that's a part of the experience overall.
In fact, one of the cultural experiences is the lovely Japanese toilets. I actually install one in my house, but I know, I love it, but I know to some Americans it's an interesting experience.
All right, so Professor, you are focused on management. That's your discipline. And I'm assuming that there's a significant emphasis on business relations which may be embedded in your programs. And you touched on this a little bit earlier. How do you leverage your connections with Japanese companies to enhance the learning experience for the students?
As I said, to be honest, I haven't fully organized them yet because academics and business work on different timelines. We have to plan things over a year in advance. If you go to business and say, can I bring 20 students to visit you on this date in a year's time, they look at you strange. They don't think that. They don't even know they'll be there in a year's time. So my plan is to physically meet with them. We definitely got to visit to the Japanese Stock Exchange. That's organized. And just ask them the basic business questions. What's special about marketing in Japan? What's special about economics? What's special about labor relations? Each country you go to, government regulation, that is very different in every country. Taxes are different in every country. How people treat their bosses. I mean, the extreme was, he mentioned it with students. My brother worked in Singapore, and he never had an underling ever query any of his orders, even when he said they were really stupid. They just say, thank you very much, I will do it, So people have to learn that, because one of the tricks I found in a lot of Asian countries is getting people to say what they actually think. They want to be polite, and it's important. Americans aren't used to that. They're used to people saying, sorry, no, I can't do it, or I can't help you. You know, or take a hike if they're really rude. But that won't necessarily happen. They'll say, yes, yes, I'll consider it. That means no. You know, so, you know, it's, that's what I get from it.
Great. So this is a good segue from the previous questions. What are some notable outcomes or success stories from students who have participated in your programs? I know this is the first program that you're taking to Japan, but in general, what outcomes have you seen?
Well, I actually know some students have got jobs in export type jobs because they can deal with the people. And it's already mentioned, but you'll probably talk more about it. But if you're working for, it doesn't matter, it's a German, Korean, Japanese company in Georgia, it definitely helps if you spend time in their home country and you can understand simple things like which restaurants to take them out to. I've dealt a lot with Chinese, and I took one Chinese person out to an Australian beef restaurant in Kennesaw. He did not appreciate it, he wanted noodles. So, obviously if you speak a language, that's a huge plus. But a lot of people are like me. I studied French for 9 years and I can't speak it. So, just knowing how to deal with them. And even if you join an American company, most American companies are international. And if they suddenly say, oh, we want you to go and help in a new factory or a new sales office, you've got an idea what living as an expat involves. As I mentioned, I usually try and get one expat talk to my people when I go abroad. So say, what's it like for American living and working in Tokyo, for example? And obviously they tell you tricks of the trades.
Thank you. All right, last but not least, Ms. Barnes, you have an interesting perspective as a former student, and one that I think that the students in the audience will really connect with. Can you share your personal experience of studying abroad in Japan and how it has impacted your career?
I'm just gonna move this chair a little bit. Yes, so I, back in 2013, when I first was a freshman here, I was taking Negrelli's classes, and awesome classes, by the way. I was a bad student, we won't talk about that. But I was really wanting to go to Japan, and I got the opportunity, and I applied, and so I went to Tokyo to study at Soka University. And you say Tokyo, but this is really a little bit countryside, which I didn't know. But that's okay, it was awesome. So my time there, I was, very confused at first. I had a lot of confidence for no reason, and I didn't understand. I was so nervous. I didn't even understand when my fellow student asked me what my name was, and I just couldn't understand for the life of me. But then, over time, I was able to meet so many awesome people and experience so many fun things, and through all of the uncomfortableness that there was, even though that's not a word, I had such a wonderful experience. So those times of not knowing what people were saying and not knowing what was happening sometimes really helped shape me to who I am today. I was able to learn to deal with ambiguity and vagueness, and overcome that and not get bogged down by that. I also learned to not stress out over little things, and just let some things happen and thoroughly laugh at myself, because you will make mistakes and that's okay. And all of this helps me in my job today. Even though I don't speak as much Japanese as I would like, I do still need to have really good communication skills. I work with maintenance staff and engineers, and they do not speak English or Japanese. They speak another language, and so I have learned to work around that. And for example, I don't assume, I ask questions, and I know that common sense is not common sense everywhere. It's not the same. So all of these have really benefited me throughout my career, and I couldn't recommend studying abroad enough because it changes you, it transforms you. It's amazing.
Thank you. So you've touched on this a little bit. Studying abroad is truly a reflective, transformative experience. You learn so much about yourself and the country that you're studying in. So you talked about being calm, and you talked about not stressing too much about certain things, basically just going with it. But what were some of your biggest challenges that you faced during your time, and what were the most rewarding aspects of your experience?
So, one problem was not being able to read the signs and not understanding people who are talking to me. That's a pretty big problem. And I really felt that, and I was really able to continue overcoming that when I moved to Japan after graduating from KSU. I lived in Tokyo again for 5 more years, and I truly was able to feel that challenge at the beginning. I didn't know what people were saying to me, and I just said, yes, hi, all the time. I didn't know what they were saying. I went to a restaurant, I couldn't read the menu. I said, osusume, which means your recommendation, and that is how I survived, and it gave me some amazing experiences. So actually, there's a lot of good in what we see as the bad, and those language barriers allowed me to improve my nonverbal communication skills and understanding and recognizing, which helps me to this day. Not everything is always said through words, and sometimes the words don't mean what they say, like what you were just saying a moment ago. Like, oh yes, I will consider it. No, that means no. That means no. So overcoming these challenges was a gradual situation, and just getting support from people around you, learning to rely on people. I made some really awesome friends who are very understanding and patient. So you get to have these special experiences because of these so-called challenges. So actually you can really turn it all into a positive thing. One thing that just popped into my head was when I mistook the word, instead of saying kyuryo, I say kyuri, which means it's a salary and cucumber, very different things. But when I talk to people and they give me this face, I know, okay, that was the wrong word, and I move on. So you learn to laugh at yourself and move on, and only positive things, only positive things.
Thank you. And my final question, how did your education abroad experience influence your transition to working for a Japanese country? You have so many other options. Why did you choose to work where you did?
So, there are lots of reasons for that, but going back to kind of what I've been talking about, you learn to overcome ambiguity, you learn to adapt very quickly, improving your language skills, not only just English and Japanese, but also nonverbal. And then just, I have a love for the culture and the language in general, and so I wanted to work for a Japanese company if possible, and I am, so that's awesome. But all of those things that you may see as negative at first and maybe very challenging will help you one day. So it's never going to be a waste of time, or you think, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? No, it's okay. It will help you one day. It will help you, and it helps helps me to this day. Sometimes I don't know what people are saying to me. You know, they're like, oh, the spindle on the sub something. And I'm like, okay, I'll figure it out. Let's figure it out.
Thank you. All right, so I have a few questions for all of the panelists. Feel free to jump in at any time. How important is cultural sensitivity awareness for students studying abroad? And how can they best prepare for this?
Okay, I would say very important. In fact, it's one of the main points of study abroad. We try and help. I mean, we have meetings before we go to point out, the people abroad don't behave like people in Georgia. And by the way, being a foreigner from Britain, which I thought, oh, it's easy to come to America. There's a huge difference between Britain and here. So I've lived in different places in America. So cultural sensitivity is important because people in the Northeast aren't like people in Georgia, and people in California aren't like people in Georgia. They behave quite differently, let alone the Midwest. So I think all students, ideally, should be able to operate in a completely different culture successfully. That doesn't mean they have to speak the language, but they shouldn't just assume everybody's going to behave like somebody who was born and brought up in Cobb County. So I think it's very important.
Thank you. Would you guys like to respond?
Okay, so actually I'm teaching at the intercultural communication in the universities. Then of course everybody has different values. Then if people meet someone who has different values, always like tend to reject. But difference is of course exists. Therefore, even you don't feel well, but that is, for example, like an international student sees Japanese people, different way of speaking, but different actions. First, have to accept, oh, that is Japanese culture. That is the most important. And of course, how to prepare it, now it's like a social net services or internet is spread wide. So of course, before going to Japan, please study and what is the life in Japan, how people react when talk to international people or something like that. But the most important thing is please experience. Yeah, that is, I think, is the most important thing.
Great, thank you.
I agree, learn by doing. That is my motto. Not really, but it is right now. So I think you can only prepare so much. You can ask, Google Sensei all you want. You can talk to your Japanese friends, but you just can't prepare for every situation. So I think if you're really nervous, you can tell, the people that you're talking with, like your teachers or your fellow students in Japan. You can say, hey, I might not understand some things, and I might make some faux pas, and I might seem rude to you, but I do not intend to do that. And if I do that, please let me know, and I will not do it again. And the end, and everyone is happy and moves on. Everyone wants you to do well, and they care about you, and they want you to have a fun time.
I think that's a very good point. I've traveled to many places, to countries where the language is not my first language. But I think if you go into this with a mindset of, I want to do something different. For example, I'm in Georgia, I want to go someplace else, learn something new. In a sense, you have to leave a part of yourself behind. You cannot necessarily take Georgia where you're trying to go. And a good rule of thumb for me is when you're interacting with people from a different culture, just them seeing that you are trying. You may get the words wrong, but you're trying to speak the language. You are trying to immerse yourself in the culture. And I think that goes a really, really long way because you're interested. You're interested in what I'm doing. You're interested in what we do here as a country. And I think that helps to broker a lot of the, oh, you did this incorrectly. Well, that wasn't the most polite So I think that's a good rule of thumb for anybody traveling abroad. Just try to learn and pick up what they have there for you to offer. My final question, this year we have about 100 students that will be studied abroad in Japan, making it our most popular program this academic year. I am thrilled. What do you see as future trends in education abroad programs, particularly in Japan?
Well, this caught me out because I've been to many countries. I went to New Zealand last year and I went to Korea the year before. And I get usually 19 to 20 students with a lot of marketing. This year I did 0 marketing. I got 45 students and a wait list of 3. And I could probably get a lot more if I'd actually gone out there and tried to recruit. For some reason, I remember when I did my MBA, which was a long, long time ago, Japan was the great place. I went, a lot of people were doing joint Japanese language MBA courses. It was going to be the country, and then it all disappeared and nothing happened for decades. It's come back. Japan is definitely back, and the students seem to pick this up. I don't know whether it's lamination or what's the reason, but the students are really, really interested in Japan. The other thing that's nice is the yen rates come down. Japan used to be horrendously expensive. It's still not cheap, but it's not horrendously expensive, and that's made a big difference for students. I think for the next few years it's going to be really attractive for students, and we're going to have a big demand. And definitely, you only have to look around Atlanta. There is a lot of business being done in Japan. There's Japanese companies here supplying stuff, or us buying things from Japan. So I think it's really important that the people of Georgia are aware and work with the people from Japan.
Thank you. I think we have time for maybe one more response from the panelists, if you want to, if you have something to add.
Yes. Sorry. And now, unfortunately, the population in Japan, especially young people, are going to decrease. So therefore, like a university also wants a student from the foreign countries. Therefore, in the future, we, like a Japanese university, will accept more international students, and that is gives like an impact or effect to all the Japanese students too. So they need to like speak English or something to like international, to work in the international country, and so therefore yes, and now I expect in the next few decades, so more we have a lot of exchanges between America and Japan, and more student program will expand, and many American students come to Japan, and many Japanese universities go to the university to study, so that's what we're expecting.
Thank you. Okay, now we have come to this part of the panel discussion where you have the opportunity as audience members to ask questions. We have a few minutes. If you have any questions, please raise your hand.
Besides the basic requirements for applying to the Japan schools, what are you looking for in applicants to be accepted? Besides like grades and all the things, like what exactly is it that you want in a student to go over there?
My question?
It's for all.
Okay.
Whatever.
You're right. So the GPA requirements, each university is different depending on what they're looking for. Thank you. So each university is different depending upon what they're looking for. The GPA is there, and sometimes they require an interview, but really what we find through all of our exchange programs are that the university really wants to know about you. What are your interests? What do you like to do? What is your motivation? And I think that speaks to some of the hidden messages that we've been talking about today on the panel in terms of academics are important, but if you truly want to integrate and truly have a more holistic experience, your other interest needs to tie in as well. So in communicating that, what makes you special, what makes you stand out. And they want to make sure that this will be a good experience, that it will be a good fit for you if you were to go to that university. So I would say the secret sauce is just about you. What do you have to offer? What are you looking for? And I think that's one of the biggest things.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any more questions?
Hi, I have a question that's sort of connected to that last one, which is basically, like Mr. Chikayama said, there's support for language once you get there, but you have to have some basic Japanese, right, in order to study. So I wanted to know how much Japanese does a person need, both spoken and written, to be able to be a successful student?
Actually, and my universities, and for example, we have the summer program. This summer program doesn't require any Japanese language skills, because even the beginner course, students start to learn from hiragana, katakana, very basic. Therefore, we don't care. But of course, and if you, the internet student, want to improve more Japanese languages, and of course we can offer very unique courses to master Japanese languages. So therefore, actually, this is also my experience, because when I was coming to university, American University first time, I couldn't speak English very well, but now a little bit I've improved. So therefore, don't worry about the language itself. We are speaking, everybody's same. Everybody's same. Therefore, we have different levels of courses. Then, if not good at speaking or not at writing, so we prepare the courses for those students. Therefore, actually, this is only by universities, but I don't know other universities, but we don't care about how Japanese language skills before coming to Japan.
Thank you.
I have a quick question. Is a little bit. So, extending the question a little bit, suppose a student goes for a study abroad program and develops a passion to be there, to work there. So can you, in a minute, tell us whether there are sort of opportunities for them to stay and get engaged in some sort of experiential learning or things like that, international internships or things like that? Because that could be the second step where a student would like to take, especially from the business school, if they have developed a passion for that.
So I can't really answer for everyone here. But I remember at Soka University, they did have some programs. I was so shy at the time that I didn't really get into those things. But I did have a part-time job there where I tutored students in English at their main university as well as their women's college. But I think part of it is just, other than the programs they offer, is you can go out and try to explore and find things while you're there and make connections that can help you. So even if you, when you come back, if you wanted to go back and have more experiences, you have those connections kind of built, and that will really help you a lot. So definitely recommend. I'm sorry if that didn't answer your question very well.
Thank you. We're pretty close to time. I think we can squeeze in one more question.
So when it comes to the universities, do we have the option of which university we want to attend, or is it just whatever the program has?
Really good question. So every year we have the opportunity for there to be a different portfolio of education abroad options that are available. We rely heavily on our faculty members. I see some in the audience that have programs as well. And so we rely on their interest, their passion to propose programs that we hope would be exciting for you, that you would want to participate on. And those we call faculty-led programs. But every year you have new programs that might be added as well. So you have a good selection to choose from, depending on what you'd like to do.
個人の理由はいろいろあると思うんですけど、全体を通してこういう経験した方がいいっていうことがあれば教えてほしいです。
For the American audience members, I guess the question was, so for Professor Chikama, he's bringing a group of students here from Japan for 2 weeks. So the question was, why are you part of the 2-week study abroad program, bringing students from Japan to Georgia?
Okay, I didn't expect my student asking a question to me. But they're good questions. Yeah. Actually, I started. I became the associate professor at Obi University just 2 years ago. Then just 2 years ago, I came to Atlanta first time. I didn't know that. So then I was so excited. So I saw many people and I visited many facilities and companies, and I heard and listened to the many valuable information and speech. Then, of course, again, many Japanese programs, Japanese university offers a lot of programs. However, I can say that no Japanese universities provide this kind of program, 2 weeks, and see many people, visited many places in Atlanta, and interact with American people, study English. Everything is mixed. So usually, like many Japanese universities provide the program 2 weeks, just visit only popular spots and talk to some people only. But so we have a chance to talk to business people in Atlanta. Then also my student major is business. Therefore, if stay in Japan, only see their like management style in Japan, I think it is not good. So students should open eyes wide and look at other companies in foreign country, and especially Atlanta's many popular and big companies from all over the world come here and start a business. So that is a good chance. Then now we have a connection. Japanese Georgia Society of America, Japanese American Society of Georgia, we have strong connection. Then, therefore, I want to students know we have a good program to know like business in America. So that's why I want students come to join this program to see and listen many people working here at Atlanta. That will be a very, very valuable experience in their future.
I appreciate your question. I do not speak Japanese, but I was ready to take a page out of Anna's book and just smile and say hi. All right, so we are about, actually we're over time, but I would like our panelists to take a few seconds to leave some key takeaways or advice for the audience.
My key takeaway, and this applies to Japan, it applies generally. Take any excuse you can get to go and immerse yourself in another culture, even if it's just California. But ideally, something more interesting. Yeah. Most people are going to live to 80, 90, maybe longer the way medicine's going. Cultures are going to change, you're going to have to adjust to them. And the thing about culture is, yeah, as was mentioned, you may not like it, but you have to live with it, so it's important you learn. So I think learning to live in different culture is really important. And actually, sometimes they're nicer cultures than ours.
Okay, first of all, please let me say that thank you for very much giving me an opportunity to speak this place. And my advice is, now American dollar is stronger than Japanese yen, and now it's chance to come to Japan. And you can save money, and you can, do many things you can. And of course, we have Japanese a lot of interesting things. Probably like many foreign people interested in Japanese, like anime or manga or something. Of course, we have that, but not only that things. And the food is good, and people is nice. If you're really interested in Japan, just come. Maybe first time in short stays was okay. Maybe 1 week fine, but probably you come to again. You then like me. So first maybe stay couple weeks. Then after that couple months, then finally like longer than 1 year. Then therefore again, if you really interested or like I like Japan, please come. Just it.
I agree with that statement. I agree with that, and I told my parents I would only be in Japan for 1 year, and then I stayed 5 years. So you can try that too, if that will help you. But really, I also really recommend study abroad. This is your time in university, and it will really transform your life if you're open to, accepting the new culture and the new perspectives. And as Nike says, just do it. Just do it. Just do it. If you're worried and you have some reservations, don't worry by yourself. Go talk to your professor, go talk to your study abroad advisor, and they will help you because they want you to experience this. As we were saying earlier, it is life-changing, and you have so many special experiences that you can only get when you go. So please sign up and try and go explore.
Thank you. Since I lead the Global Education Office on campus, I strongly encourage you who are able to study abroad. It is a transformative experience that goes beyond your life as a student, and the benefits, the many benefits, will manifest themselves in ways that you do not see coming, you don't expect, but it's all worth it. If you need support, if you're interested, please stop by my office in the Academic Learning Center next door on the 5th floor for us to help you on your journey to Japan. Thank you all for being here. I would like to thank my panelists for your time and your insights. Please give them a round of applause.